It's Monday night, and my sister's cooking dinner for her family. My 4-year-old niece walks into the kitchen to help. She puts her hand on the stove. What happens to my niece's hand? It burns, she's got an owie, she cries. It's Tuesday night. My sister's cooking dinner for her family, and my 4-year-old niece goes into the kitchen to help. She puts her hand on the stove. Did my niece learn? How do you know? Because she did it again. She exhibited a behavior that was undesirable for my sister and my family. We do not want our niece putting her hand on hot stoves. So what is learning? Oftentimes when we talk about learning, we talk about it in these very heady ways. We talk about the fact that it's expanding our minds, that it's gaining new knowledge, that it's boldly going where no one has gone before. Okay, that's a bit much, all right? But that's how we talk or we experience the concept of learning. We learn facts, we learn figures, we learn how to multiply, we learn about our solar system, we learn how to regurgitate dates. These are things that we consume and we spit right back out. But all too often we don't talk about the resulting behavior of learning. How do I know that someone has learned? So, it is my expectation, it is my hope that when I encounter a doctor, that I know for sure that this person went to an accredited university that taught them how to be a doctor. Because now they can act like a doctor, because they've done the academic courses, that they've worked on cadavers, that they've memorized the parts of the body. And so now, through this whole process, they now know how to be a doctor. That is my expectation. A carpenter, it is my expectation that as a carpenter goes through his trade, as he becomes an apprentice, that he learns how to use the tools necessary to build and construct things that are of sound structure. That's my expectation, that he will act, because he's been in this apprentice program, that he will act like a carpenter. An accountant, for example, it is my expectation that if someone goes to an accounting school, that once they leave, they will act and behave like they know what they're doing. They will be accountants. So the expanding of the mind is a great thing. So the boldly going is a great thing. Gathering new information is a great thing. But the evidence of authentic learning comes in the form of behavior. I can't be guaranteed that you've learned anything if you keep doing the same behaviors. Here's some examples. I remember as a high school student, one student would transgress in some way against another, or talk about somebody's mama, or all sorts of things. And students were very quick to apologize. I mean, we've done a great job of teaching our kids how to apologize when they've done something wrong. And so right on the spot, boom, apology. But what I would remind my students is, I hear what you say, but I see what you do. I hear what you say, but I see what you do. I would also remind them that what you do speaks so loudly that I cannot hear what you're saying. So when we think about this learning, one of the things that we need to move towards is not just talking about gaining this information, but how does that information change how we live our lives? Many of us have gone to diversity trainings or sensitivity trainings or even workplace competencies trainings, but we oftentimes don't get the chance to talk about how that training, how that learning gets walked out in our everyday lives. It is my belief that if you don't use the information that you've been given to change some critical aspect of your life, then you have not participated in the process of learning. Because ultimately, learning is about a change in behavior. And I'll have you know, my niece is 16 years old and she no longer puts her hand on the